Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to the Nukeshot Media YouTube channel, where we are bringing you live the Sim Racing Federation ARS Racing Series World GTC. On to here live at Monza, the sprint race, 45 minutes in length, coming at you shortly. It is fantastic weather here in Italy, and a fantastic co-commentator I have alongside me this time. Introduce yourself, lad.
It's me.
That's
I wasn't here last time. I'm guest.
That's right, we got Mika back after much request. There's actually a lobby slot for him this time, so nice to have him along. At least I think so anyway. Should keep me occupied in the booth.
Hopefully.
So, just to clear up after last week, as we know, Nürburgring was a bit of a lottery, one could say. The race win actually went the way of Wake, followed by Joe in second, and I believe it was James who finished third in the end. That was due to Fred getting a penalty, and that. However, Fred does keep the ballast of 3% as he did cross the line first, so that's something to look out for. Going into this particular round, Wake is on 21 points, Joe 18, James 15, Fred on 14, Splurge on 10, Swablu 8, Wybear 6, Amuda 4, Rotary 2, Roland on 1, John Wandering, Stig, and Arama all on 0.
As in the team standings, TSR Team Simpac Racing is leading with 26 points. The second Simpac team is leading with 21 points. Nukeshot X SSE is leading third, sorry, with 20
Thanks
points. ARS Racing Blue with 15 points. The ARS Racing Team 11 points. Golden Bear Motorsports 4 and Paradox Automobiles 2 points.
So just to recap on ballast, Fred will be on 3%, Wake will be on 2%, Joe will be on 1%. At the moment, Wake in the GTR. This is definitely a circuit that can favour the GTR, although we have had a very specialist balance of performance change for it. We've been hearing reports that it's actually made it a lot better on its tyre wear, so that's something we need to have a look at. However, again, looking very strong at the moment. A 1:46.4 is the fastest time in what I believe is the practice session at the moment.
Yeah, and
we may have
Wake
started qualifying. Oh no, we haven't.
No, Wake qualifying will start at 8 PM. It's been delayed due to people fixing connectivity issues, which were some problems with that.
Right. Thanks for that. So, of course, the circuit, Monza, a fan favourite, certainly has produced some fantastic battles throughout the years. A very high-speed circuit, and, of course, broken up by 3 main pinch points with the chicanes. You've got the Lesmos thrown in there as well, and, of course, the likes of Curva Grande and the Parabolica for your high-speed action as well.
A lot of overtaking opportunities. A lot of long straights, maybe send it into the first chicane, hopefully not at the start because that will cause carnage. And
yep.
Maybe if you're brave enough to the second Lesmos, you can throw it down the inside.
It is definitely a circuit that rewards bravery, although hopefully, again as you mentioned, none of our drivers are going to be too brave going into turn 1 for the first time, but you can gain a lot of time just by being more confident on the brakes.
As you see behind Wake, you see Splurge almost going off track through Ascari. Ascari, a really tough corner to get right. You'll easily go wide, cut the corner, lose time, or lose exit speed onto the gravel. Going into Parabolica, one of the best corners I think on the track. You carry a lot of speed through there if you get it right. As Splurge goes a bit on the green, AstroTurf, which can also upset your top speed a lot coming onto the back straight.
Of course, there's also marbles and dust out there as well, which can have an effect, can force you to run even wider, but Splurge managing to hold on as he goes down the straight in the slipstream of that GTR. The GTR is a large car in comparison to the Porsche, which is quite a large hole in the air. Therefore, that seems to be the car to follow, at least in the upcoming qualifying session.
As we go and have a look with Stig, I think, who's going on his first flying lap. Stig, having won, I've heard a lot of good quick lap times. I think he's one to look out for this race.
Yes, if I recall correctly, there were whispers about a 1:45.
45.9, if I'm calculating correctly, yes.
Yes, so Lord Stigworth looking very, very competitive as he rounds through Curva Grande. The Nissans do look strong. It shouldn't be a complete walkover for them. 10 minutes until qualifying, as we're hearing from race director Hagee. Of course, all of the Arrows Racing team and the Arrows Racing Series organisers have been extremely busy trying to get through what happened last week, all before this week's race, of course, and a fantastic job they've done indeed to not delay it an extra week. We are racing here once again.
And hopefully it will be a good one. I think we will see a lot of action this race, in the middle, in the front, and maybe in the back. If the back can probably keep up with the middle guys, I think we will see a lot of action.
Yes, let's hope so. Some people in chat already. Hello to John Wandering, saying that he's saying nothing and is just going to see how it goes. Probably the best strategy to go for there. Things, especially after Nürburgring, can be completely unpredictable. Racing normally is. Mika in chat saying hello there.
Hello there.
And Emilius saying, imagining a league race here without the first chicane. Oh, Curva Grande is turn 1. What would your thoughts be on that?
You know what I'm surprised of? There are no Quinners fans yet.
No, the Quinners fans haven't shown up yet. Gamer Mikey in chat, I believe that is Mikey of Starscream Enterprises, I could be mistaken. Anyway, nice to have you along. Hopefully our lads will do us justice. Here is Ybear, who was looking quite good earlier on in the practice session that we was in. It's a little bit off the pace at the moment in the gravel at Della Roggia. Should be a good showing from them. Sota, they are new to this particular round, if I'm not mistaken, the Finnish driver. We've seen them in GT MES, another series I do highlight commentary of. I believe they are the league organiser of that. You see the GT MES sticker on the back of that car. Potentially another one to look out for. The Audi R8 can be a handful at times, but on a circuit like Monza, perhaps it will come into its own with not too many consecutive corners.
It can pick up a lot of speed. If you get everything right in the R8, it will really pay off. It will give you a lot of time.
Yep, and it is indeed Mikey in chat. SSE manager, good to have you along. James currently at the top of the timing sheets now that Wake is off the circuit. Interesting to see that Aston Martin doing as well as it is. I believe James is running without any ballast, although he did, after the penalties for Fred, claim third place, so he's actually in a very good position championship-wise.
As I also may add, the ballast rules have been changed. For the guy who finished first, third, second or third, nonetheless, if you get a penalty or not, you will get your ballast.
I wouldn't say changed, as it was so early in the season. I'd say clarified is probably the word to use for that. Of course, interesting developments nonetheless. Quinners, here he is. Let's hope we can attract some of his fans shortly. The bright orange machine car 94 finally got the above car graphic fix.
I think if they hear the name Quinners, they hear it around them and they're like, we need to watch this stream now.
Yep, we're gonna have like 30 viewers as soon as I switch to him. Under the bridge he goes, down towards Ascari. Let's go on board with him, see how he takes it.
Almost flat.
Nice amount of curb use there. Not going over any of the anti-cuts to the point that it will unsettle the car, so very good line there. Nevertheless, the Porsche does suffer on a circuit like this simply because it is more of a handling-based car rather than a top speed car. It's pretty much the polar opposite of the GTR, but we'll see how that develops. They're currently 4th on the timing sheets, and they've just done an improvement that takes them 6/10 away from Wake's time. That's 1:46.8, I believe.
So I also can say he is about as fast on a BMW. Well, it's a bit of this. It's almost the same. BMW is 265 kilometers an hour. He went 264.
Yeah, were you comparing that to Wybear then?
No, I drove it myself.
Oh, right, of course. And hopefully we will be bringing you, after the qualifying session, in between that and the race, my good friend here, Mika, will be doing the preview lap of the circuit, just to break down the details of the nuances for you guys at home. Just that little bit extra more. Already up to 9 viewers on stream. Fantastic. Thanks for coming along. Qualifying will be starting in approximately 3 minutes, as though we see Amuda going very sideways over that second chicane. De La Roja looking at him now, going through the Lesmos. Car 54, that is. The Lexus should actually be alright around this circuit.
I think so, yes.
Yeah, seems a decent enough package.
It's a bit of an all-rounder. I think it prefers more corner tracks, I think, more handling tracks. It won't do all that bad here, I think.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably a momentum circuit car, if anything. I've been hearing from the drivers that it does handle a little bit like a brake. Probably not to the extent of the GTR, but
it looks a bit like a brake.
I suppose there is that aspect as well. Let's Wybear go by now. Let's have a look at some of the other drivers up and down the field. John wandering in the other Golden Bear Motorsport car, the Yellow Hat Machine. Funnily enough, another BMW behind him. That's Fred Dude, who was first on the road at Nürburgring. Of course, demoted down to 4th after penalties. John Wandering lets him go by there. Splurge we've already seen. Who else is there? Let's go to 11 at the moment. The team's championship leaders at the moment, I believe. Team Simpac Racing.
Yes.
Swablu second on the timing sheets at the moment. Look how close that is. You can see on the graphics. Just over 300ths of a second between the Mercedes of Swablu and Wake's GTR. Oh, a little bit slidey through the first chicane though, however. Who else do we have around here? Let's go to... Oh, Sota's on track now. There we see the R8 again in all its majestic glory. Fantastic livery work by Sota there, the black and red with the Red Bull decals.
With a beautiful sounding V10 behind it.
Absolutely.
You can't hate it, you can't hate the sound.
Oh, fantastic noise it makes as it goes through Curva Grande as well. And now 10 on here. In the pits at the moment, Joe 2 guy finished second in the end of things at Nürburgring, so he's also in a very strong championship position. He is on 1% ballast, and ballast on this particular circuit can have an effect mainly on acceleration, I'd say, but 1% shouldn't be too much of an issue for
it
Joe.
shouldn't. As we now start qualifying.
Yep.
James is the first one to come out of the pits.
So as you may know, it is a 5-minute quick-fire qualifying session with a 10-minute break period between then and the race. So, of course, as you mentioned, James is going to be the first one to kick us off. But again, with this circuit, we saw it in Formula 1, it's pretty much all down to slipstream, at least at the moment with the physics. There is going to be an update to make slipstream less strong in the not too distant future. Unfortunately, that isn't here at the moment, but it is pretty much down to slipstream and just getting that extra few tenths on the straights. We'll see if some of the 2-car teams end up using that and alternating on their laps to give themselves a strategic advantage.
Or this can maybe bring some guys of the midfield secretly stealing slipstream from the other guys, bring them up the front, or maybe start pole.
That is a very valid point there, my companion.
Everyone has a contention for pole here. As you see, I think the two TSR guys are already trailing behind each other.
Yep, Joe leading Swablu at the moment. Surprised James isn't paired up with anyone at the front. Perhaps he's just focusing on getting a run in clear air compared to some of the other cars. We'll see how it develops.
Setting one banker lap.
There's a car that's actually dropped very far back at the moment. That's John Wandering. He's on the mediums, interestingly enough, for qualifying. That's a bit of an odd strategy. Perhaps he's forgot to change that. John, if you are in chat, just a suggestion, perhaps go into the pits as James now goes on to his first lap.
Picks up now. Late braking. Really tight turn in with a wide line through to the second part of the chicane. Full throttle. Coming on to Curva Grande.
Nice and clean so far. The first chicane he didn't use as much exit curve as he could have, but seemed to get the traction down well.
I tend to find more grip on the curbs than on the track.
Yeah, it's quite odd there, as he's now braking for Della Roggia. Oh, nice amounts of anti-cut there, getting the car hooked up very nicely.
Into Lesmo 1. Quick exit. Late braking into Lesmo 2, get a perfect exit, run a bit of the curve, not too much. Perfect. Onto the straight.
You can also see in the background Joe and Swablu are using that slipstream tactic. They are sticking together still. Makes you think if Joe is going to let Swablu go by on the straight after Ascari. Speaking of Ascari, here goes James. Again, nice line.
Almost. Full throttle through Ascari.
Nice exit. Oh, just within track limits. That is exactly what you want to do as he makes his way down the stretch to the Parabolica. If I believe I'm not mistaken, translates to rainbow from Italian. Because it's rainbow. Yeah, I believe because it's rainbow shaped. I think that's what it is anyway. If not, then that was Radish's useless fact of the day, as James sets a 147.246, instantly battered by the Joe 2 guy with a 146.5. Fred goes fourth with a 147.5. James third, Splurge rather third with a 147.2. Roland now third, Quinners in the other Porsche, so the Porsches are doing very well here, ignore what I said earlier. So, looking good for him, let's say 147.066.
Yes, I'm looking up actually what Parabolica means.
Okay, I'll leave you on that one. Wyber's first lap was 147.697, Amuda with a 147.796. He's currently paused at the moment, it would seem, allowing Sota to go by. Ninth at the moment, Rotary in that Jaguar, 147.855 for them. They are well in the slipstream of TSR Stig. Stig is actually at the top of the timing sheets now with a 146.235, so the rumours looking quite accurate, as we have now reached the end of the qualifying session, or at least the checkered flag is going to be out.
I can't find it for sure. It's, I don't think, yeah, it can be, it means rainbow, but I don't know for sure.
James rounding the final corner. Is he going to be able to improve? Well, I think he might, yes. 146.6, that's enough for third at the moment. Joe goes fastest again.
Swablu goes fastest now.
Fantastic lap by Swablu, a 146.1. There's chaos actually at Parabolica. What's going on? Someone's gone off. There's been a crash at Parabolica. Someone's facing sideways. I don't know who that is. I think it's the Jaguar or Rotary. Is that? Is it Fred?
It is Fred. And Rotary as well. And Fred, I'm sorry, Fred is standing still. After... Wait a minute, where is he? I don't know. He's standing still.
Is he... He's 7th. Yeah, he's got lots and lots of damage. It might have been taken out. Or something, if that was the case. Someone in the braking zone perhaps getting it wrong. If that is the case...
We have John Wandering, the last one to actually go round. Last one, as Fred is actually in Parabolica.
Yep, John Wandering rounding the corner. I don't think this is going to be his first... Is it going to be his first time?
His first flying lap.
It's a 152.2. That's going to be enough for 12.
Will start on P13.
I think that's just because he was in the pit. Qualified. Has he not set a lap? Seriously?
No, he hasn't.
That is extremely odd if that's the case.
Maybe he's trying to get the safe passage into turn 1.
Maybe, although then again, that's a really odd strategy. Here's the timing sheet at the end of that. We believe it was Swablu with the pole time, was it? Oh, everyone leaving and rejoining the track. It's a bit of a nightmare to see who was where after the session. Just going to look through the time. Stig did a 146.2. Joe, oh wow, look at that. Joe and Stig separated by just about a 100th of a second. Extremely close between those. And oh dear, everyone's just jumbling around. Yep, 146.2 for Joe. And where was Swablu on this list? Is Swablu on circuit still? Yep. Oh, he's moving around. Ah, this is fun in games. Ah, yes, Swablu was the one that did a 146.1, so Swablu is going to be our pole sitter. I believe it's a Simpact 1-2 for the main team, with Lord Stigworth should be in 3rd. Mika is now clear for the preview lap, so that will be coming at you shortly. So, Mika, talk us through a lap of Monza.
Well, coming off to the back straight now, just the pit lane, braking into the first chicane, late braking, turning in early, using a lot of the curb, coming out on the curb if you can. I usually tend to find a lot of grip on the curb, coming into Curva Grande, hugging the inside as much as possible, don't try to lose any speed, come out wide, turn in, brake just about here, down to first, turn to second, don't upset the car as there's a wild spurt on the track, into Lesmo 1, 3rd gear, early on the power, car tends to upset here, really not a lot of grip coming out of that corner, early on the power here, coming out a bit on the curb, off Lesmo 2 onto the straight. Really short straight compared to the others, you can still carry a lot of speed because it's a bit downhill. And now coming into Ascari, braking. People usually look for 3rd gear here, as there's another wild drive on the track coming out of Ascari. Don't use the curb a lot. Just try to get through, not go past track limits. It will give you a penalty, or you touch the gravel and lose even more time. Coming into Parabolica, hug the inside. People used to tend to hug the outside, come out wide, and now it's just a flat straight through to start-finish straight.
And that is a lap of Monza. Thank you very much, Mika.
As we now have to wait a few more minutes until the race.
It shouldn't be overly long. It's going to be a good time for us to go through some of the messages in chat again. Emilius saying he might actually do a Monza race without the chicane for a GT500 event. That could be interesting. GT500s, at least with the downforce they have, would be quite stable going at that kind of speed through Curva Grande, so perhaps we'll see.
And I'm gonna have a little bathroom break before the race.
Alright, see you in a bit. And John Wandering saying he messed up the first chicane and Ascari on the one lap that counted. Of course, John Wandering ended up qualifying a little bit down the order at the moment. There he is, currently parked up. So it is a Simpact 1-2, Swablu getting the better of Joe. These guys have already switched their tyre compounds. I think that's why so many people were leaving and rejoining the circuit, was to switch tyres. Swablu going to be on the mediums, as is Joe. As is Stig, it would seem. And James. And Splurge. Fred is going to be the first of the runners on the softs, so we should be seeing him carve his way through the field a little bit. We'll see how that goes. White Bear also going on the softs. Mediums for Amuda, getting those out the way, as the same will be for Rotary. Sota is going to be on the softs in the R8. John Wandering on softs as well. Wake, who allegedly didn't set a time, is going to be on the mediums, that far down the order. James in the pits in the mediums, or on the mediums, and Mika shouldn't be on the circuit when it comes to the race, but here he is anyway at the moment in the Sim Racing Federation livery for the BMW M6. Hope you're all enjoying the stream so far. It's nice, of course, to have a co-commentator with me, and if you are enjoying this series that we're doing on the channel, be sure to show that with a like, and potentially subscribe to the channel if you like as well, to not miss any future content such as the rest of this season. Also, one thing that I don't actually plug that often, but I will do tonight, we do have a Discord server which can be found in the description. So if any of you aren't in there already, then what are you doing with your lives? Go check it out, of course, if you have Discord. Completely optional. John Wandering in chat saying no bond subscribe. I'm gonna have to delete that comment if I know how. Do I know how? Remove. There. Comment has been removed. Sorry, John.
And I made my racing setup into just the seat now, so I can have everything and I can see everything and have the laptop on my lap now.
Ah, fantastic. So, just to clarify, this race is going to be 45 minutes long. That has been changed into an actual lap count, which is 25 laps. That's going to be 24 racing, 1 formation lap. So, of course, sprint race format should see plenty of action packed in. Shouldn't be a dull moment.
There should be a lot of action. And are pistols mandatory? I think they are.
Yes, I believe you do have to use both the medium and the soft. Or actually, I think it is you just have to use 2 different compounds. So for most people, that will be the medium and the soft. And from what I'm seeing, the majority of people are starting on the medium.
They are actually mediums.
Yeah, I think Fred is the highest of the soft starters.
Also,
but there aren't that many soft starters.
Leave the track before I start the race.
That is not a bad idea, Chief. Unless we get a cameo appearance by Mika, who's racing now.
I should actually do that. If I arrange that, 1 cameo appearance in the SRF car.
That would be very questionable, especially with, you know, championship contenders and all that.
Yeah, true.
An amusing idea nevertheless, as we are about to get this race underway. The final countdown has begun. Hope you're all enjoying the stream. As I mentioned, we're about to go racing here at Monza. Mika, talk us through the grid.
I will. On pole, we have TSR Swablu. Second place, we have TSR Joe 2 Guy. Third, TSR Stick. Fourth, ART James. 5th, Roland Jupiter. 6th, Splurge. 7th, Fred. 9, Y-Bear. 8, Y-Bear, sorry. 9, Amuda. 10, G4 Rotary. 11, Sota. 5, 9. 12, John Wondering. And last we have TSR Wake.
Because making their way around, of course, we are going to have one formation lap, so we're not going green as of yet. And there we go. Everyone has manual control over their cars. Again, just to clarify the formation lap, I believe it's 70 miles an hour, which will then drop to around 50 miles an hour in the second half of that.
70. And with the new, the edited rule, I might say, now one car length behind each other.
That's definitely going to be useful, given the amount of incidents we actually saw under full course caution at Nürburgring. So the series adapting and learning from perhaps past mistakes. Always good to see. There's always room for improvement in everything in life.
Look at the NES, we improved so much.
Cheeky plug there. I don't even have to plug it myself anymore. I've got me here to do it for me. I'll pay you later, don't worry. So...
Wait, I got paid?
No, that was a joke.
The survey says?
Oh, yeah, oh yes, of course. Survey says... I have a desk buzzer now. So, that will only come out on the very rare occasion.
When a big crash happens.
Of course.
That's
try
a
and
big
take
error
this.
from us.
Gonna take this as serious as I can though, but that's just a little comedic relief prop.
A bit of fun is always allowed.
Bit of banter. Cars making their way through Della Roggia, some of them using some of the anti-cut, some of them nearly going on 2 wheels.
Going there into lesbian 1 and 2.
You're really gonna quote X-Matty G. You're really gonna quote that, alright.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Big up to X-Matty G. Please come back.
I noticed Swabloop isn't weaving his car to keep his tires warm.
Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe he'll start weaving a little bit more. There it is.
There he goes.
Just needed reminding from you, it would seem. Everyone else behind seems to be doing it amply enough. Just touching 77 miles an hour. They've dropped down now that I've put the graphic up. Under the Brambo Bridge they will come eventually.
Into Ascari for the last time before the race.
So as I mentioned, the top 6, I believe, all going to be on the mediums. Fred, the top of the soft runners, Wybet also on the softs, Amuda mediums for Rotary, softs for Sota. Wake is going to be on softs as well, and John Wandering's actually in between those two, just listen, he's on the mediums.
Only 4 drivers will start on the soft tires.
Here we go then, the odds to the right. We are forming up double file as we are about to get racing underway. Hope you are all excited for this.
Look at all these cars bunched up. 2 full lobbies. Back to back. Yep.
We're gonna go green, I believe, when the leader crosses the timing line.
So we're going to the green flag now.
Oh, look at this grid. Fantastic showing from these guys already.
Has to be a screenshot later on.
As we're about to get racing underway here at Monza. It is green, 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 and the cars are off. Joe instantly on the line goes up into the lead as they are side by side making their way down towards turn 1. That GTR of Stig seemed to drop back a little bit. That Aston Martin right in the slipstream.
Are they going 3 wide into the first
4
corner?
wide nearly. Oh.
They are gonna...
No, 3 wide. My mistake. Stig down the inside. Stig has somehow managed to get into the lead. He's ran a little bit off the circuit, I believe, though. Oh, bit of contact with them and Joe, but Stig manages to hold on to it. Stig into the lead of this race. Fantastic move by them.
And everyone has made it for the first corner without damage.
Indeed. Side by side, the 2 Simpac cars still go. Somehow Stig managed to sneak his way through. It's a 4-5 for the Arrows Racing team in their bright orange Porsches as well. As James seems to drop back a little bit.
Roland is going to move up to 3rd. Are they side by side into second, first Lesmos?
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, outside this thing. Oh, great line.
Side by
Still
side.
side by side.
Bit of onion barges. I think Quinn
Still
is just
side by
about.
side.
Oh.
3 wide now.
No.
Only 2 wide.
The door closed there.
Look at the pack in the middle.
Oh, it's absolute madness. Look at this. Will Rowland be able to take this position? Last of the late breakers. Who's it going to be? No, he slots in. Swablu retains third, but the top two I have started to break away after that scrap. Joe and Stig. Stig leading Joe at the moment. They make their way onto the back straight. There seems to be a bit of bump drafting going on. I'm not sure if that's entirely legal.
I think this is a bit of a TSR
conspiracy theory
TSR
going
strategy here.
We'll have to
Joe's
see.
going on the inside.
We'll have to see what the stewards think of that. If they are bump drafting, I'm not 100% sure if that's covered in the rules.
Side by side. Right on par with speed. Is Joe gonna hang back?
Oh no!
Put it there still.
Still side by side.
Oh, as Swablu takes the third position away, as James goes wide.
And he's been
He
reset.
gets reset. There's been some bumping going on. As Wake has damage, Wake has engine damage and front damage.
Oh, where's Wake? Where is he? What position?
13th now.
13th. We're gonna have to see what happened to Wake then. Vehicle damage confirmed. That must have been something that happened at the first chicane. Here it is. Side by side with Wybear. We're looking on the replay at the moment. Did he just outbrake himself? Or what happened here? Oh, it was when James was reset, he was ghosted, but for some reason, that still managed to give Wake damage. That's
interesting. It's
yeah.
a bit of a Gran Turismo glitch that has been going on for a while now.
Oh, that's extremely unfortunate. So good thing that we do have the full ghost caution now officially out, just because that would have been very unfair and unlucky for Wake to be caught up in that situation.
It just puts the whole pack back together again.
So, a relatively clean start, it has to be said. No turn one drama on the first lap. It seemed just to be a bit of a game glitch that has caused this.
And Wake can, when he comes in, he can come back out, he can go into the pits immediately.
Yep, 80 miles an hour is the new limit given by race director. Just to speed things along a little bit. Pits are open, there it is confirmed. Amuda is in 5th. It's been a great start by them in the Lexus. They're splitting the two Porsches of Arrow's racing team.
Is Wybear gonna stay with the medium? Is Wake gonna stay with the mediums? We're gonna go on the mediums now.
I think they have to do a minimum of 5 laps. I could be wrong. That's how it was on the last race.
Alright. He is gonna change tires.
Right. Wybear in the pits as well. He's on his mediums now after starting on the soft, so trying to get out that stint early on. Wake now leaving the pits.
Out of the pits again.
So Wake started on mediums, right?
No, he started on the softs.
Right, okay.
That's what I said on.
Okay, with all being well, we should be going green at the end of this lap. Of course, yet for the official confirmation. Oh, as soon as I say that, there it is.
Hopefully we get some more action into the first corner. Maybe Joe and Stick battling it out again.
Yep. The TSR guys 1, 2 and 3, it's been a very good start by them, very good qualifying as well. And actually with the pit stops and stuff, Amuda's now moved up to 4th, I believe, because that was one of the Porsches that went into the pits.
it has been, I think, both.
Has it been both?
Yes, because Splurge was in 6th and Roland was in.
Oh yes, of course, Roland was there. So right. So quite a few people going into the pits early on. Bambi Sim Racing in chat saying the TSR AMG is looking like a snack.
It looks like candy. It does look like a snack.
I think one thing I think I heard, forgive me if I'm mistaken on this, was the term unicorn vomit, as one person described it. I think that was one of the
bit of my Special Rebellion car delivery.
Oh yes, that, which you can find on the Half of the Race Gone channel. Be sure to check them out after this stream as well. We're about to go green here. Single file on the restarts, of course. Should still be around 1 car length gap between these guys, there or thereabouts. So Stig will be going green. He'll be going green anywhere between the pit wall and the timing light. Joe.
Oh, it's 2 TSR cars coming.
And Fred nearly faked going in as well. We're going green here once again at Monza. That's put Amuda into 2nd. How's Amuda always getting into these fantastic positions?
I don't know. Really lucky guy, I guess. This rotary takes 3rd position from Fred.
Yep, or I think he might have been ahead of
Spurs is already
Fred.
up to 6th again, going on the inside of Sota.
Oh. The R8 just about... Oh no, the Porsche on exit, look at that, the traction. Porsche's known for that, and they've managed to out-traction the R8 massively and get up into that position. Meanwhile, side by side, a bit further back between Roland and Weiber, I believe that is. Through Curva Grande they go. Looks like Joe's going to get a run on Weiber, which is interesting because Joe was in pits, remember? So
yes, there was a really quick pit stop.
Yeah, Swabler was on the back of the pack there.
They are on the softs now. I think they're going to finish on the softs. I think these tires can make it 20 laps.
It depends. I think they've done 4 laps on the mediums. Or like 4 complete laps, or racing laps anyway. But then again, I might be wrong on that. It might be different between the sprint races and the endurance races.
It is. I think it is. Stig is putting a bit of a gap to Amuda.
Fred has found himself in 3rd, so very good work at the moment by Fred, moving up the order. They've got Splurge in slipstream though. We're going to go for a rear wing cam, I think, on Fred's car, just to see how the Porsche handles in the slipstream as they make their way through Parabolica.
As also Wake is now also up into 7th position.
Yes, good note.
But he has to make a pit stop because of that from softs to softs.
It would seem the Porsche isn't really gaining anything on the straights. I did mention it's more of a handling
Joe
car.
is side by side with Roland.
Oh.
And John Wonderen also in the mix.
Oh, hold on, where is this? Here. Yes, breaking down into the first chicane.
Oh, it's Wake has been hit to the back. Wake has damage again.
Oh, you're having a laugh.
He's been hit by James, I think.
We're gonna have to see another replay of this one.
James also has front end damage.
I think Wake ran wide, and then on the rejoin, he sort of had nowhere to go, but it was an unsafe rejoin.
Bunches of the pack behind him.
It's very Sebastian Vettel at Canada kind of a situation, where it is an unsafe rejoin, but there's nothing else he could have really done, as the car just couldn't slow down.
Wake is now sliding. Look at that pack behind him, which gives Sota the ideal trajectory to get away now.
Just saying, there's a battle for 2nd at the moment. I'm just focusing on at the moment. Amuda has been caught by Fred at Ascari, watching that just unfold. There are battles up and down the field, as I did mention. It's going to be action-packed throughout, but this is the highest ranked at the moment. Fred's on the grass. What's happened to Fred? What the?
Is he still on the ground? Is he? Oh.
Maybe his wheel or something cut out there for a second. That was odd, but that's allowed Splurge to go by, and Splurge is going to be up 2nd shortly. Fred's disconnected.
Maybe some connection issues.
That must have been a disconnect, considering he went off the road like that. That was really weird.
Muda going side by side with Splurge.
He's still fighting for it, isn't he? That Lexus should have the advantage on the straight, and indeed does so. Oh, Splurge later on the brakes, though.
Is he going to make the corner? Beautiful.
Nice. Nice move there by Splurge. And the traction again, you can see how much the Porsche gained.
With 2 wheels in the gravel.
Very risky stuff doing the R8.
Joe and Swallow are already up to P6 and P7.
Yep, the two teammates going to start working together again now they're back together on circuit. They're still, well, they're on their softs, but again, they've only done 4 racing laps. That might again be different. I'm just going off of what I remember from last time. Mika, in fact, could you check the rules to make sure if it is still 5 laps minimum on a stint, or if it's different for sprint races, just so I get a bit of clarification on that.
Yeah, I'll look into it.
As again, the battle for third still raging on. Amuda down the inside at Ascari, still side by side between them and James. Fantastic stuff. Oh, onion barges again as the Lexus got a little bit unsettled on exit. Rotary nearly makes it 3 wide. I think he's going to. Oh, weaving it would seem, and there was a collision with Splurge with that weaving. That was extremely odd indeed. Splurge back up the inside. Look, they haven't got damage. Amuda, on the other hand, has got damage.
He's been squeezed out of the pits.
I'm gonna just see. I think Amuda might have got damage from the contact after Ascari. 3 wide for second, nevertheless. As they make their way down Rotary, just on the dirt. Oh, Splurge just got it wrong!
Oh, and Amuda's gone off with Splurge.
Splurge got it completely wrong there. We're gonna have to see a replay of that one, Chief.
And Splurge doesn't have damage.
No, I think he just got himself a bit crossed up in the braking zone and then collected Amuda a little bit. Oh, yep, there it was. Oh, that's extremely unfortunate. But that has just allowed Stig in the GTR to completely escape up the road. Rotary finds himself in 2nd place on the medium compound. That is a very strong position indeed to be in at the moment. Not quite as strong as Joe. Still green, we're hearing from race director. On the back straight they go. Gonna go for front bonnet cam. Here we go, or roof cam rather. Side by side, Joe. Is he still there? Yep, Rotary just had to back out of it in the end. And Sota in 4th. Look at this. They're losing a bit of time as Swablu and Roland, good old Quinners, getting in the mix as well. So his first escapes up the road. Fantastic battles we're seeing. Swablu on the inside. Quinners going to try and send it around the outside of the Mercedes. Or just keeps it within track limits. Trying to slingshot his way around Rotato as well in the Jaguar. It's going to be a case of who gets the slipstream from Joe. And I think that's going to be Rotary.
I can't find nothing about the 5-lap. I don't know if it.
Is it in lobby settings, perhaps? Okay, well, Rotary seemed to make a little bit of a sliding error there. Lose the position to Swablu on exit of Rettifilio. Making their way to Della Roggia for 2nd chicane. Oh, look at this from Quinners. Gonna have to go on board with the Porsche here as he sends it. Very nearly had to back out of it there at Lesmo 1. Of course, he did something very similar to that to me in a practice lobby and it didn't end well, so good to see that he's learned from that one. Credit to you there, Chief.
As I have found, you must complete at least 10% of the races on. You must complete at least 10% races on your 2nd compound.
Right, okay, so 10%, that means it isn't a lap based, it's a percent based, so that is probably going to be 3 laps. Then,
it's your
if they're
second
rounding up.
compound. If you switch to mediums, you have to at least run 10% of your race on the mediums. It says 10% based on your second compound, just the compound you switch to after your first one.
Oh, okay.
If I recall correctly.
Well, Quinners has just gone up the inside of Rotary as Rotary goes on the dirty part of the circuit, flashes the lights from Sota as the R8 actually looking very competitive despite it being a coffin on wheels, as some have described it at the moment. Hopefully that gets changed in the update with some of the physics and stuff. Mid-engine cars have been suffering a bit. Look at this from Quinners, down the inside for 4th, gets it stopped.
He bounces off the rev limiter a bit hard there.
Am I right in saying there's a battle going on for 2nd? No, not
that
quite.
are the TSR guys just
They're just working together side by side once again as Rotary got the run on the outside of Curva Grande. Look at this, Jaguar and Porsche. And the R8 also getting in the mix. Look at this, Quinners looking to send it.
In the inside.
He's got it alongside.
Oh, it's Rotary. So does the car a bit of Rotary.
And Rotary's gone off.
The gravel.
He's gone off, he manages to keep it in a straight line, which is very impressive to do, so easy to loop it, especially on a corner exit like that. Oh,
John are
Roland's gone off. Roland just went off.
Oh, Roland.
Let's see what happened here. Was it a bit of contact? No, I think he just overcooked it, going through Lesmo 2, and went into the gravel. That allowed Sota to get up into 4th place, Rotary up to 5th, and that's actually dropped Roland down to 8th.
So we also have a battle going on for 10th place. Amudo, Weiber and John Wondering.
Yep, Weiber making his way up the order. Splitting the Lexus, or the Lexi, I think is the term. It's a Weiber sandwich. In fact, it's the 3 bears, you could say. Weiber and the Golden Bear Motorsport cars.
No. This Roland is in his slipstream of James.
3 wide, who's going to get the corner just right? It would seem that Weiber is going to get a run on the inside here. Side by side with Amuda. Amuda was in 2nd place at one point, remember? So, of course, had a bit of an incident with Splurge, I believe it was, earlier on. And it looks like in the braking zone, the BMW should be strong. Oh, seems to cut the corner a bit there. Oh, Weiber's gone off. Weiber in the gravel. Don't think there was contact, but he's going to lose time from that. He's currently in 12th.
He doesn't have damage, as the battle for 4th is now almost 4 cars.
Ho ho ho, it's Splurge in 5th at the moment, chasing down Rotary in 4th, and of course teammate Quinners in 6th and James in 7th there. So 3 of the Arrows cars chasing down that one low Paradox Jaguar. Ooh,
they nearly touch.
Bit of onion bodges.
Comes also to the mix.
Quinners, oh, bit of oversteer on exit. Quinners manages to get it stuck though. Manages to move up into 5th and eventually 4th.
There as well. Are they going to go 3 wide? They are 3 wide.
3 wide.
Yes. Roland pulls out of the slipstream as Rotary loses a lot of top speed. Oh, they both nearly James and Rotary almost nudge. The Porsches are now back in 4th position.
Yep, Rotary fell down the order a little bit after that, but they are in slipstream position. Perhaps going to get a bit of a tow. Splurge has the insideline.com.
Late on the brakes. He doesn't want to let his teammate buy or fight with his teammate. Rotary's in the mix. As also Wake and Soda are closing in bit by bit.
Yep. Of course. Actually, Sota. What happened to Sota? Because I don't recall them making a mistake. Ah, right. Okay. I was wondering, because they were the one that didn't make a mistake in all that kerfuffle at the Lesmos not too long ago. But that would make sense. So Sota has made their pit stop, which actually puts them in a really good position if they're already gaining time on this group that's paddling ahead.
As I also may add, Joe is lapping 1.4 seconds quicker than Stig.
Oh, so the gap for the lead is closing down a bit. That might have something to do with Joe and Swablu working together as they try and catch the Gojira car.
They're both on softs, which will give them the advantage, I think.
Ah, is Stig still on the mediums? Yes, he is.
Roland is now... Wait, Splurge is gone, Splurge pinned. Splurge is off.
Let's see if we can catch that. It must have been on the exit of Ascari. We're going to see this one on the replay. He was behind James. What happened here? Bit of dust kicked up by James. Might have gone into his windscreen. And then, oh, he didn't even clip the gravel there on exit of Ascari. He just sort of ran over the curb a bit funny. And it spanned the car. So... perhaps a bit of an unstable setup there.
Wake going for P6 with rotary.
Yep, side by side, the Nissan. Oh, very early on the brakes for the Nissan. Oh, very late on the brakes for the Jaguar. And it's happened again.
Wake got damage again. He's got damage again. The same glitch happened to Wake twice.
Oh dear, it's happened again. How on earth?
Yeah, virtual damage immediately being called.
Wake.
He also saw it. Immediately called caution.
Wake has to be the unluckiest driver on the grid in this race right now. Second time in a row on the reset for rotary, collision and the damage.
A restart with everyone back together.
Yep, as the leader drops down. Now that's actually not going to work that well in the favour of Stig. That gap's going to close down. Stig yet to go on their mediums. We're about the halfway distance mark in this race though.
Nearly, as they say, half the race gone.
No, we're going to get a copyright strike now. Survey says...
But your buzzer is copyright strike.
Oh dear. Dutton, please don't sue.
Please don't, we need money. He needs to pay me.
No, I really don't. Ah dear. Well, the field closing back up again. Some of the guys still need to catch the leader of the pack under this full course caution. Let's hope we have a clean restart when we do get to it. Now, who's going to pit in this situation? Would Stig be better off pitting now because there are cars that haven't caught the train? Yes, that's exactly what he's thinking. In fact, everyone in that train is pitting.
Oi!
If whoever gets out first of the pits is going to be in the lead of the race come the restart, I think.
Is refueling? Ah, you do need
maybe
fuel.
A slight bit. Who's it going to be? I think it's Stig. Yes, Stig retains the lead. Fantastic strategy call there.
Swablu, Joe and Roland.
Now wait a sec. Stig is on the softs again.
Stig started on the mediums.
Ah, okay, right. Sorry, I was a little bit confused on that. So that is Stig pretty much set for the end of the race.
As the top four haven't lost any positions.
Yep, all because the cars behind them didn't catch the train that allowed them to make their pit stops.
James pitted as well.
Yeah. Sota in 6th is behind the ones that haven't pitted this time on, and they are on the mediums at the moment. Wybear in 7th managed to somehow get their way up the order.
Sota has pitted really early.
Splurge in 8th. 9th is Rotary. 10th at the moment is Amuda. Best of the Lexi. Wake in 11th after that unfortunate damage, and 12th is John Wandering. So they make their way to catch the train.
Wake unlucky. Really sad.
Ah, that was quite something. For that to happen not once but twice. Like, have you done something to get Kaz on your bad side or something? Wait. Like, you sent him an angry tweet.
Like Wake.
Oh, who knows? Who knows? Maybe he sent him an angry tweet or something, and this is his revenge. Well,
Is they're all lined up? Are we gonna go green this lap? Yes,
yep.
we are.
So it's going to be Stig on the softs, who is going to be leading this restart with teammates, or technically A teammates, as it's the main team, as opposed to B teammates of Swablu and Joe, second and third. Quinner's the highest non-TSR car in fourth, James fifth, Sota sixth, Wyber seventh, Splurge in eighth, ninth is Rotato, Amuda 10th, 11th is going to be Wake, and John Wandering rounds off the grid in that fantastically liveried yellow hat machine. Anywhere between the pit wall and the timing line, he can choose to gun it and go green. Gonna just watch this here. He's already increasing his speed. And there he is. There he goes. It is green once again here at Monza. As their cars charge their way down towards the first chicane. Now will Joe try a move here on teammate Swablu? Swablu very late on the brakes, nearly running into the back of Stig. In fact, is going to overtake Stig, I think, as a car's gone off. Amuda's gone off, they went wide. As Swablu's going to try and go around the outside of Curva Grande. It's been done before. It can be done again if possible. No, the GTR manages to pull ahead. The top four pretty much the same as they were then. As cars make their way through Della Rosia down towards Lesmo 1. We'll see if there's any scrapping a bit further down the field. Seems to be okay at the moment. Rotary and Splurge looking very close at the moment. Onto straight they go once again. Gonna go for a rear wing cam on the GTR of Stig. Just see the train of cars behind him. Look how much Swablu closes in the braking zone. The cars, Constantine, are up like an accordion. Look how deep into the slipstream the Mercedes is. Does manage to get a bit of a run. And that is a bump draft. Perhaps just letting him know he's there. On the straight. Yet again, we're gonna leave rear wing cam for now. Now will Swablu try to go for a move or another bump draft? It would seem a bump draft. Joe, on the other hand, nearly setting himself up for an overtake. Quinner's seeming to stick with the 3 TSR cars. James drop back a little bit. They're outside of slipstream range. That's going to be crucial for them. And Wybear is just getting into the slipstream range in that BMW. So that's going to be interesting to see what they can do from here. Sota in 7th. There it is. The Finland, the Flying Finn, as the term is in the R8. Really surprised how he's making that car work. As Splurge, a major sideways moment going out of Della Rosia. Let's see if we can catch this one again. So he actually went purple through Sector 1. Look how sideways he got there. Stig still in the lead. 3 TSR cars. Now starting to break away from Quinner's. The 3 cars are definitely working together here. You can see none of them going for overtakes at all. It is a car centipede right now as they make their way on the back straight. I never thought I'd ever have to say that on stream, but that is what it is. Mika has either muted his mic or has left temporarily. Oh, he's back. Hello.
Hello.
We have someone in the pit.
No one has gone for the move.
Wake. now going on to the softs, and he rejoins in last place behind John Wandering. Amuda.
This is Rick's third stop.
Oh, contact between Amuda and Splurge. The Lexus all sideways and getting crossed up on exit there. We're going to have to see a quick replay of this. What happened here, Chief? Sota and Amuda, first of all, side by side, went down into Retafilo. So a bit of onion barges through here. Nothing too major. And then Splurge just cheekily came into view as well up the inside, and contact was made as 3 wide for 7th nearly, at least on our cameras. Bermuda still in 7th. Oh, what has happened to Splurge? Splurge has picked up damage. Perhaps that was from the contact they had with Bermuda. John Wandering also having to defend 11th. Wake and John Wandering side by side down the back straight. Yellow hat Lexus lets the Nissan go by. Of course, race winner last time out, Wake.
As the TSR guys still haven't overtaken each other.
Yeah.
I think someone missed to make it.
And maybe that's going to happen later on in the race. They're probably just trying to get clear of the rest of the pack, which is interesting to say the least. Oh, Sota on the grass a bit there as Rotary makes the move around the outside into the pits they go. Oh, damage
from Enberg.
That would make sense why they're going into the pits now. They should be going on to the softs then to the end of the race because they just changed their tyres. They're fueling up a little bit as well. I'm not confident they could get to the end. And the R8 leaves the pits.
On the softs.
I think there was Splurge also leaving the pits there. He's on a fresh set of softs himself, but he's 8 seconds back from John Wandering. And unless there's another full course caution, he's going to be pretty much out of contention for this one, I have to say.
So far, I think this has been a really green race for Monza at least.
Yeah, it's been entertaining, to say the least. James...
I think the TSR guys are gonna start overtaking since they pulled a 3-second gap over Roland, who now has James up his gearbox.
Gonna go on board here with the Aston Martin. Oh, closes under the slipstream massively down the inside. Quinners doesn't even try to defend from the Aston Martin, but goes deep. May have just gone over track limits. Very marginal at least. Oh, kick of oversteer.
Also loses it on the curb.
That's going to allow Quinners to make their move up along the inside again. No, not 3 wide just yet. It's normally me that calls that a bit too early. But nevertheless, Wybet just sticking back at the moment, waiting for his opportunity. It is still got quite a distance to go in terms of laps. Probably in the next few, he'll start trying a bit more ambitious moves. Those 3 looking the raciest bunch at the moment though, as the Aston Martin in slipstream again pulls out. They're on the inside, line.com. Do they get it stopped? Oh, just about. Oversteer again from James on exit. That Aston Martin is looking very slippy on those medium compounds.
There is a bit of wear, like the slightest of margins of wear coming up. Does need to make a difference as James goes in the inside. On the inside, is he going to make it stick? Nice braking, he does. Makes move done before the exit. There's also no lead change yet at the front.
Yeah, I'm just gonna probably stick to monitoring that with the timing sheet graphic on the left of the screen rather than cut to them at the moment, because it isn't looking likely that they're going to be making any moves anytime soon.
Just
Now,
a bit of a still going on.
Just looking a bit down the order, but yep, 4th is still the closest battle on circuit at the moment. Though starting to stretch out a bit.
Realized Wake having moved up to 8th again.
Yep.
Now coming up to Bermuda.
Gonna go on board again, this time with Wake's Gojira Nissan. Fantastic helmet I've just seen. on the Belgian driver's head. Close up a little bit. Of course, Wake is running a little bit of ballast. I believe it's 2% from crossing the line second on the
still
road.
looking strong.
Oh, here we go. Look at this. Even though it has had a horsepower deficit in the slipstream, it is still an extremely efficient car. And that is Wake moving quite cleanly up into 7th place, unless we were to try something.
Oh, someone gets wrong again! No, Wake, no, please, is he gonna get reset again?
Oh, no.
Oh, thank God.
He did get reset there, but it was a bit late. We're gonna have to see a replay of this, so... Did he just clip the grass? There may have been a slight bit of contact, actually. That forced Muda to go straight on. I want to see another replay of that. On board, perhaps.
As well as going on the inside of Lesmo 1, makes me move done.
Yep. Slight move in the braking zone there from Wake, so that's not gonna look too good for the stewards. Or to the stewards, rather. You say something happening with Quinners? Yep, Quinners
Yes.
up into the lead again. The lead? The lead of the pack, at least.
The lead of the pack, the best of the rest.
These three looking very competitive at the moment. Porsche leads Aston, leads BMW. 4th, 5th and 6th.
As you see, you have two groups now.
Are you allowed to bump draft? I personally wouldn't say you would be allowed to.
No,
However, I'm not 100% sure if it's covered in the rules. It's something that's probably going to have to be addressed at some point. But yeah, it sort of has dulled this race to an extent. Hopefully the top 3 Simpac guys will actually start racing a bit later on, as Wybear, partly on the grass, going on the straight there, just trying to find his way on the inside of Roland. Couldn't quite find a gap in the end, as James in 4th at the moment. These guys constantly swapping around again. Wybear has just stuck in 6th at the moment. Hopefully we'll see a few more moves now we're getting towards the climax of the race.
4 laps to go. No, 5, I'm sorry. Lap 21.
Again, 6 people watching the stream at the moment. Unfortunately, no Quinners fans.
Oh, I would have expected him to see him here.
I know, unfortunate. I do know that I've been getting a few subscriptions from them as of late, so it was nice of them to do so, but perhaps they'll watch this back. Perhaps it was just Roland not notifying them or something. Either way, not too much of an issue. We've got plenty of action nonetheless. 8th at the moment, Rotary. He's sort of losing touch a bit of Wake at the moment, although it's still just about in slipstream range, making their way through Ascari.
Is Roland gonna look for the move again? He's on the inside, coming into Parabolica.
Yep, I think James is going to try a cutback, possibly, or no, actually, can't quite get the car line. Oh, no, there it is. There it is. Pulls up alongside.
This giving Wybear a good run, as they both don't have slipstream and Wybear does.
I was just about to say that. Roland just about slots in now. Does the BMW get a run? Going into the braking zone. Again, covered off by the Porsche. Nowhere to go for the BMW. Very good defending. It's almost like a game of chess, I always say, is racecraft. Just about positioning your car at the right place at the right time. It's fantastic to see. Joe ahead of Swablu. Was that?
Oh yeah, that's the only change we've had since.
Yes, so those two have swapped around, although the 3 are still pretty much together. So Joe, he seems to be the one that wasn't doing the bump drafting earlier. He's finally decided to pace.
He was bump drafting with Swablu.
Oh, of course, there was the car centipede, as I put it earlier on. But these 3 starting to space out a little bit, interestingly enough, as there's a bit of a kerfuffle between Sota and John Wandering at Della Roggia. What's there? Well, they're getting close anyway.
Is gonna send it on the inside? Oh, he's just about to hang back.
Yeah, he's gonna back out because he knows the Lexus would only get it back on this straight. So he's gonna try and get ahead here in the braking zone and see if he can get a bit of a better exit through Ascari, I think. We'll have to see. Unless he just sets it up for the start-finish straight, I suppose. Yeah, he does stick behind for now. He's on very fresh tyres compared to John Wondering. Good to see scraps around.
Is running really low on fuel.
Oh. Yes. He's probably going to have to do a bit of fuel saving while in the slipstream at this rate, if he's going to make it across the line, or he's very marginal at least.
He is short shifting, I realised.
Good spot. So the Indonesian driver tailing Quinners.
This wake is also inching closer and closing into that back of 3 drivers.
Yep, just see him in the back shot.
Trying to steal that 4th place.
Still plenty of action to go. Gonna quickly see. Actually, no, we're gonna stick with this because I think Wyber might get a little bit of a run. Will he on Quinners? It's looking close. No, backs out of it for now. We're gonna check on the leaders as we are seeing a scrap now for the lead. Joe manages to move up to the lead.
First. And now they are gonna scrap as Joe is eager to get that win.
So Joe seemed to have a much better exit out of Ascari and then the slipstream. So good to see these guys have decided to give us a bit of a show as we are on lap 24 of 25.
As Wyber is coming into the pits to add some fuel.
Ah, so he couldn't make it in the end. That's unfortunate to see on the strategy.
Gotta change tires.
You might
Maybe go for a quick lap.
Fastest lap is going to be difficult.
1:45.821.
Yeah, set by race leader Joe. As Stig has also dropped behind in the GTR. As Stig's actually also very sort of marginal on fuel. More so than the other cars around him.
Stig can maybe make it a fuel with a hard fuse if it is he. I think he's backing out of the battle or first now.
Yeah, he might have had to go into a higher fuel mix. He's dropped out of slipstream range. That really does show Stig all that time spent in the lead, not saving fuel in the slipstream, has really cost him in this one.
Westwick is not caught up to Roland.
Yes, another good spot. And Wake is going to be very good on fuel. GTR efficient in slipstream. Oh!
Fuel.
Look at that. Manages to get it in and out on the straight, even before the braking zone of the Sky.
Is saving fuel.
Another one that's saving fuel. Oh yes, definitely. So a lot of these guys caught out by the fuel.
Stig's also low on fuel.
You know what, it might have been them expecting another full course caution so they can have a splash and dash, but it hasn't worked out for them. There have been plenty of green flag runners.
Haven't refueled at their pit stops as well.
The final lap of racing we go. The top two still relatively close. Quinn is in the pits.
Let's see how much Wake can catch up to James on the straight. 4 tenths now, almost 5 tenths. He almost catches 5 tenths on the straight. Oh, as James goes off, he overcooks it.
And he's been reset.
As Wake now moves up into 4th from falling back 2 times to last place.
And you know,
starting last, now to P4.
That was an extremely close call for Wake getting engine damage again by someone resetting themselves. But luckily managed to avoid any contact with the ghost there. As the top 2 cars, I think we should focus on this till the end of the race, I think, because it is 5 tenths of a second plenty of straights to go. Joe in the lead, Swablu in second. I'm going to go for a rear wing cam here on Joe's car. Look how much Swablu manages to close up on the braking zone. Oh, perhaps ran a little bit too deep. Slight bit of lag there on Swablu's car. The gap, 0.6 of a second, is increasing slightly, it's fluctuating. I don't think it's going to be enough for Swablu to have a late lunge as he rounds the final corner. It is going to be the Joe 2 guy who takes the race win for round 2 of the SRF ARS World GT Series. Congratulations to them. Fastest lap as well goes their way, a 1:45.821. Teammate Swablu makes it a 1-2 for the Simpac main team.
Stick is nearly out of fuel when he reaches over the line. Wake really caught up to him. Wake P4.
Oh, it's the Simpac 1, 2, 3 and 4. That's going to look good for their media.
James and Roland finish P4, P5 and P6.
Yep, James getting the better.
P7, YB P8. Splurge coming across the line, P9. Amuda coming around the last corner in P10. Effectively, Swablu has left the room. I think disconnection is Soto going around the last corner, P11. John wandering.
Soto's out of fuel now, and no one's behind them really that close, so Soto can just cruise across the line to take 11th.
As he is finished now, P11 effectively, and come around Ascari for the last time. John wandering. John back straight. Coming around Parabolica now.
Hopefully the static's fixed, Jimmy. Thanks for notifying me of that. Apologies, that was the charger being left in. John wandering across the line.
P12 as Swablu has come back.
There are your results then. In the end, it is the Joe 2 guy who took the race win here today at Monza. Fantastic effort by them. Fastest lap, clean race. Wasn't pole position for them, that went to their teammate.
Was for Swablu.
However, good effort nonetheless. Of course, getting the win. There are your final results. So, we're actually, Swablu should be second, just because he left before the results were confirmed. So it is Joe taking the win, Swablu second, Stig third, Wake fourth, James fifth, Quinners sixth, Rotary 7th, Wyber 8th, 9th will go the way of Splurge, 10th, and the last point scorer is Amuda, Sota 11th, and John Wandering 12th.
Really exciting race, a lot of action.
Yep, hope you have all enjoyed the stream here tonight. Of course, the 45-minute sprint race at Monza, making up round 2 of the ARS Racing Series World GT Series. Hope you have enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like if you've enjoyed the stream, enjoyed the racing, enjoyed the action. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. We have a Discord server in the description as well, if you want to check that out. Entirely up to you. And from both of us, we hope to see you next time out, which will be at, drumroll, Brands Hatch on the GP circuit. That'll be the second sprint round. That's going to be on the 24th of April. So, from all of us here at Nukeshot Media, that pretty much rounds off this evening. It's goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.
Yep, hope to see you next week. Until then, see you later, folks.
See ya.